All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chelas con Chavos. What is going on? I'm your co-host John, and again here with co-host Miguel. ¿Qué pasa? What is going on, Miguel?
Hey man, just enjoying some time at home finally. It's been a minute since I was able to broadcast from here, but finally got some time to relax at home for a bit.
Yeah, me too. Last time we had an episode, we are both out of San Diego, and so we're titling this episode "What is Going On?" because really, there's been a lot of stuff going on in different aspects of just either soccer or outside of the soccer pitch,
Yeah,
the news and whatnot. But yeah, what is going on? ¿Qué pasa? What is going on right now? It's been a couple weeks since we've been on. There's been a lot of stuff going on. You were out of town. I was out of town.
there's only
Uh,
been one game, and there's just so much activity.
yeah, coronavirus is hitting hard again. People,
Yeah,
clubs are rescheduling or canceling their matches because
yep.
COVID is making a comeback. And I'm gonna have to say now, what's in the news at the moment, what happened in Uvalde, the small town west of San Antonio, about 80 miles west or so. It really hit hard nationally and across pretty much the world. And I really just want to start out to talk about that a little bit. I'm sending you and I are obviously sending out our prayers and all the chavos, and it hit the Latino community. Pretty, majority of the victims were Latino, and I think, I think I wanted to say something about that, and you as well. But mainly, obviously, our heart, and goes out and to all the victims and the people affected by it, the families, and the prayers that I've been thinking about this, just past couple of days, what's been going on. And just I have kids myself. I have a 11-year old and a 4-year old, so it really hit me hard too, and it kind of made me think about what would I have done in this situation. It kind of made me hug my kids really close. And again, it's just a really sad situation, but I really wanted to kind of dive into something about that because but before I do, I wanted to kind of get what you feel about that first.
Um, I'm frustrated. Um, I'm sad, and I have a nephew who's about that age of the kids that were in that school. Um, I feel terrible for the experience that they had to go through. I feel terrible for the parents that have to go through that. Um, you never want to hear somebody kind of go through that kind of pain, especially over children that had nothing, but a great life ahead of them. Um, and yeah, I of course you send out your condolences, and of course you send out your prayers and your thoughts, and it gets to a point where it's just it becomes meaningless after a while. Um, I've been I'm in the military, obviously. I have a lot of friends in the military. I have a lot of friends who are cops. I have a lot of friends that are, you know, that are pro 2A. Um, but it's to the point now where something has to be done, and those cowards in DC have to start doing something better for our children, better for Americans. And I just wish something comes out of this, and these kids just did not die in vain. Um, I really send my prayers and my thoughts to the families, and it's a very sad situation. But something has to be done. It just has to change.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's just really you really can't just put words. Really, it's hard to express like emotions of what we're seeing right now, and then the politics of it. That seems like to me nothing's going to change, but it's really up to the people. It's really up to us, right? To go out and demand that change. Because enough is enough. Enough was enough 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Like here in San Diego, it's happened a couple times too. Yeah, out here in East County,
yeah.
something happened out in Santana High School, and over here also at Granite Hills. Maybe like 20 years ago or so. Things of that nature did happen out here in San Diego, and there's copycats out there,
Hmm.
that are trying to seek attention. But one thing I did want to bring about that is just that there's gonna be the thing about it is depression, right?
Yes.
Uh, the shooter, coward, hope he rots in hell. Hope he's the devil has his pitchfork going up his freaking ass. For eternity. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But the thing is, that guy that did that, I'm pretty sure, there's words out there that he was bullied and picked on and stuff like that. But the guy probably had depression, but um almost guaranteed he had depression. But looking at it in the other way now, like the parents and then the families of the victims, there's going to be depression there now too. The victims, the ones that the survivors are going to be growing up probably with PTSD. And as being in the military, and myself obviously know a lot of military people and things of that sort, but how hard PTSD can be. But there's going to be a lot of people depressed and affected by this for years to come. But I wanted to bring a light note to this in regards to that. People need to reach out, to those people that if you feel like there's someone that needs attention, needs a hug, right? Needs a good old call, and then just be like, hey, come over to the house and invite someone for dinner who you feel like you haven't seen in a while, family member, whether it be a friend that you haven't seen in a while that's not having a good life or struggling at the moment. It means a lot to reach out to that person and kind of bring them over or go do something. And yourself too. It's really been going tough for a lot of Americans with COVID in the past couple of years, and a lot of things have been happening. And that's why I think it's again, the whole depression thing that I think is very important, for us to reach out to somebody. I had a friend that fell to depression a couple of years ago and passed away. And one thing I did mention to all the people that were at the ceremony there is that the depression is real, and that it causes people to do stupid things, right? Things that you wouldn't do otherwise if you were in a good place. So just my thing there is that if anybody can reach out to those families and help them out if they need assistance, and burying the kids, how it really hurts to be saying something like that, but any help they need, figure out how you can do that. But again, you can do your part, go into the school, your nearest elementary school or something like that, and see how you can help. But again, it's just that there people are really depressed and angry, in the world right now, and then they lash out and then do stupid things, but they all they really need to do is just ask for the help um if they have a good part in their body still, like in their heart, that they all got to do is reach out and they'll get that help, because there is people out there that will help.
Yeah, exactly, and you bring up a good point. Uh, it's gonna take a village, and unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to expect people higher up than us to fix this, and it's up to us now to kinda take it from within, take it within your community. Um, that's gonna be the only change that's gonna happen. It's gonna have to happen from within our own community. So if, like John said, if anybody has any issues, if you see anybody that's having a hard time, give them a hug, hang out with them, and, we just gotta be there for each other.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's get into more what is going on. There's been a lot of news been going on right now. So the main thing, obviously, SC Loyal was also in Texas, and they were playing against RGV. The result was not so dandy, to put it lightly. It was a very how would you call it? It wasn't a good game, basically. Several things happened, but I think the one thing I did, you'll get into, you'll discuss what you mentioned pre going live about the goal. But one thing I did want to mention at the beginning was that Guido committing that foul inside the box. Um, Kind of just didn't start it off on the right foot, right?
No.
I think Guido, I think sometimes he's a very passionate player, and I love him for that. But when there's like 4 minutes in, and then you're doing a foul like that, you're not doing good for the team. And obviously the penalty that was awarded did not go through because Koke, blocked it, but it kind of sets a pace going forward. But then you want to, then obviously we were discussing earlier about the goal that they were awarded that was like right on the goal line. I'm not sure if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. So, but before I go ahead and go into that, I want to say that the way the way we keep losing these away matches is really frustrating. It's very easy for us to sit there and say like, yeah, oh yeah, I know the refs did this, that was not a goal right here, and all this stuff could have gone our way. But the thing about it, the fact of the matter is, we lost another home game. I mean, another away game, late into the match. And
Yeah.
it's I'm looking at the stats right here. I mean, for the most part, it's possession loyal, the passes loyal, and they had better pass accuracy for RGV. But we had 13 fouls, 5 yellow cards,
Yeah.
5 yellow cards. But the thing that kind of stands out to me the most is the shots. RGV had 19 shots, 7 of them were on target. We had 7 shots. We had 4 on target. That to me
Yeah.
shows me that our defense is allowing these teams to these teams that they're better than them. We know they're better than them, but they're giving them the opportunity to take these dumb shots from outside the range. And eventually at some point those goals are going to go in, you know? Like
Yep.
we keep dropping back. Every time we get the lead, we keep dropping back, adding more defenders, and we got to keep playing the game that we know we can play. And hopefully, I don't know, man, hopefully we just we find a way to get through it. But at the same time, I'm gonna go back in that goal, that second goal should not have been called a goal, especially when there's no VAR, there's no goal line technology for a referee to make that kind of a decision at that moment in the game. To me, that was a little too much. I mean, us as
Yeah.
fans, we have that ability, we have that luxury of being able to see the replay, the instant replay from the TV. We can pause it on our computer and zoom into it and do all this analysis ourselves. But I honestly feel like the USL has a referee problem, and for a referee to be making that kind of a crucial call during the game without any kind of technology supporting it, to me that was I think that was a bad call, and I think it should have. I mean, RGV did deserve the win, but I think it should have been a tie.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that. And the camera angle from where, obviously we're the viewers, right, watching the match. Like when I was looking at it, I was like, how the hell did he not see that? Like, how did he not see that ball did not go completely through? And the way the angle where he was, there's no way he couldn't 100% in
The
confidence knew that the ball went in.
Yeah, we could see it from a TV angle. We could see the goal line from the angle that the camera's pointed in. But I can tell you that from a field view where he was standing and the way that Koke kind of like punched that ball out really fast, there was no way in hell he should have been able to see like call a goal for that at all. Not at the
Yeah.
distance that he was in. And honestly, I think he felt pressure to the RGB protest.
Yeah, and again, how we're discussing this in the past, but San Diego just doesn't do too well in Texas. I'm not sure if the weather, gets them, like, being in such nice weather here in San Diego and then going to Texas where it's like humid and hot. I don't know if that really is really affecting them. But I know it does, because I will get into that in a little bit. Because, I was out there in the South, which is kind of familiar, a little familiar, it's in regards to like the weather in Texas, kind of the same humid and hot. So, and it did affect me. But again, I wasn't out there running around as much as like obviously Loyal was, but I don't know what it is with Loyal. You remember we mentioned that it was the last year San Diego Loyal went to RGV, and then like they were winning, and then like at last again, some 41-year-old player ends up scoring on us, and it's like like come on, and obviously it has to do with discipline. The defenders that we had was Stoneman, of course, got a yellow card. Boxall was in, Adams and Moon, but definitely need some improvement there. We're definitely missing Yarrow, in my opinion. Uh,
Yeah.
Definitely missing Yarrow. I really don't know why we let him go. Money wise, maybe they really wanted him over at St. Louis. They wanted him really bad, so they probably just snatched him up because he was having a stellar season. And but we definitely need to do some defensive changes. And
Yeah.
we're a little bit lucky too because Phoenix Rising got their asses whooped, by New Mexico United. Remember, we were talking to Chris a couple weeks ago in regards to like, hey, we're kind of he wasn't really looking to bright thought on New Mexico United at the moment. But I was like, you know what, they'll pick up, right?
Yeah.
And you can see here that New Mexico United has jumped to sixth place with that win.
They
Phoenix
picked up pretty
Rising,
big.
yes, Phoenix, because they won, I think, the game before that too against
Charleston.
Charleston Rosa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're still in third place. Phoenix Rising's in fourth. Phoenix has 18 points. We have 20. San Diego and Phoenix have the same games played at 11. New
Hmm.
Mexico has 10 games played, and then
Yeah.
if New Mexico wins another match, they're going to be 19. Just 1 point behind us. So like they're picking up.
Yeah.
But yeah, but speaking of Phoenix Rising, but how enjoyable was that for you watching Phoenix Rising lose by that
I wish it
much?
was us.
And
I wish it was us. I mean, yeah,
oh
it's good to see them it's good to see them, kind of get like get destroyed like that. But honestly, I wish it was us doing that destruction.
yeah,
But you know what? I'll give it to I'll give it to New Mexico. I think that was their first win against Phoenix, I believe.
okay.
I'm not sure if I don't know if that's what they were talking about. That's what Chris
Well,
was talking about last week. But
I know this
it,
season for sure.
yeah,
'Cause
this
we're
season
gonna
for
buzz
sure.
kick by on this season.
Yeah, and that was quite the win. That was quite the victory for those, for that team. And I think I don't know. Hopefully that's a tide turn for them, and hopefully that's a tide turn for Phoenix, and then I'm going down. So yeah, actually that was their first win. So I'm looking
There
at them
you
right
go.
now. The record against they have played Phoenix Rising 8 times. They have drawn 3 times. They have lost 4 times. Um, and that was their very first win. So to get a 7-0 win,
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Yeah, good for them. Happy for them.
and
I
Rising's
wish it was us, but it was happy for them.
yeah. I know Rising's gonna be listening to this and probably complaining that hey man, we had our guys out with COVID because apparently there's some situation where like they couldn't get the game rescheduled, that it was gonna be forfeited by them, so they just decided to play it because apparently they had some COVID uh, related issues going on with some players, and then pretty much they had no other choice to play the match, so they played a lot of young cats. But
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever.
But I mean, if you're losing by 7, you're supposed to be Phoenix Rising, right? You're supposed to be like you got top notch bench, you got top notch players. Like I still don't think that if you have a top club that you should be losing by that much.
I know. That score right there was not indicative of a good bench, of a good backup squad. So, glad we can finally get to see that. They're just their first team. They're just a first line team. That's it.
Yeah. So speaking of Loyal, going back to Loyal here now,
Yep.
we got Loyal going up against Los Dos this weekend. Watch party wise, there's a few watch parties going around.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm really hoping for that Loyal win. Hopefully we can recover against Los Dos, who basically have not been having a good season. They're at 10. They're in 10th place with 14 points, and it looks like they kind of checked out. And I really don't want to be the team they check back in.
And it's and like I said, like I mean, I guess it's no secret how I feel about MLS two teams. But the fact that we're kind of going there, they're gonna play it over closed doors. Um, that's kind of like the
COVID excuse again.
yeah, it's the COVID excuse. But I don't really think that we should take them lightly. Based on the last few games that we've had against them, they've actually come on. They show they're LA Galaxy players for a reason. They might not be Team One players, but they got signed by the club for a reason. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't think we should be taking them lightly. But I do feel like yeah, they kind of maybe checked out a little bit. But who knows? Like you said, I don't want to be the team to check back in with.
Yeah, they got 12 games played and they're only at 14 points. We got one
Mhm.
game in hand. We're at 11 games. So uh I was definitely, looking forward to this on the calendar about going to LA, and
Yeah,
hopefully being admitted into the match. But that's something that Los Dos has been doing, lately is just not wanting people to be in there, be there watching. I don't know if they're just embarrassed if they don't have the money to hire like staff and stuff like that to run the facility, to have fans there.
yep.
But you know what? Just get Los Dos out of USL Championship. Go have them play in their
MLS next or something.
MLS, blah blah blah, whatever they call it.
Hmm.
Have them just get them out. Just get them out. Hey, so since this is probably a good segue about MLS, there's some news. What is going on, right? There's been a lot of stuff going on, and there's been discussions, the things that come out, about MLS, and we'll get into the whole Midway situation because Estee Loa had a listening session yesterday and Ricardo was on taking questions. But something that came out a few days ago was an article in the San Diego Union Tribune about Snapdragon or SCSU in discussions with MLS still, and pretty much that it's still on the table, about having some, billionaire coming in, and the billionaire is not, associated with Loyal, it's not Landon, and come in San Diego and get an MLS club, kind of get the ball rolling in that. And I don't know if you want to get some more details on that, or add some more details on that, whatnot, and see what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, yeah, and so I guess everybody who doesn't really know Ricardo Campos, he's the president of operations for the San Diego Loyal. He's very upfront with everybody. He's very good with meeting with connecting with the fans. Um, and he I did read an article on the San Diego Union Tribune. Actually, not even just that, but just in general. I think they put out it was like a very general article that came out in the AP, um, pretty much stating that San Diego State they say their stadium will be MLS ready, and MLS is coming down to check out the stadium, check out the facilities, um, and for the possibility of putting an expansion team here in San Diego. Um, the way that the Loyal like fits into that, San Diego Loyal and they have no right to the MLS a bid. There's no contractual obligation to be able to put in a bid for MLS. They are strictly 100% independent, um, and that's it. Like Andrew doesn't have the rights to MLS in San Diego. Those rights are still within that other group that was the what is it the MLS to SD that happened like in early 2019 or something 2020
Yeah.
or something like that like right after the charges left.
2018, 2019.
Yeah. So actually what I was and concerning with the Midway stuff, the Midway stuff isn't really moving too much right now. Um and it really and I started thinking about this. I know our last podcast we had that discussion about the stadium situation, and like how I would much rather stay in Torero, because it's a smaller venue. And but now that I'm thinking about it, I started thinking about it from a business standpoint, right? And not as a fan experience standpoint. Um, it would probably make more of a sense for the Loyal to move into Snapdragon, establish that fan base at Snapdragon, and be able to show MLS like, hey, this team has already an established franchise. You know, because if you look at the trends for MLS expansion that have been going on, they have been former USL teams that have been kind of promoted or just they kind of expanded into MLS, right? You got Montreal, you got Seattle, Vancouver, uh, even who else? Who else? There's a lot of them. Uh, God, Portland was one of them too. It's just those are the types of teams that MLS is looking for, and I feel if San Diego Loyal can establish that fan base, and it's up to us as fans to be able to get people out in the stands too. I mean, it's not 100% up to us, but we are a part of it, right? I think maybe being able to establish that atmosphere at Snapdragon would be huge for the club. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. So let me get into my thoughts here. But before I do that, I wanted to note some information that came out about the whole Midway Plus, the whole uh, project, the one that Loyal was supporting. The one that includes a potential stadium for ST Loyal. But I think I discussed it a couple weeks ago that the San Diego City Council, there's 5 bids apparently, right? And then a couple months ago, the San Diego City Council decided that, hey, we're just gonna kind of just promote like 3 of those, kind of expedite those, just because they're like the best ones, at the time being. They have, the ones that are gonna be getting the wheels rolling quicker than the other ones. So then there was a session, there was like a San Diego City Council session that happened a couple weeks ago, and I was actually listening to it. That they decided that they were going to open it back up to the 5 again, but they wanted in depth more in-depth information in regards to environmental, how it's going to affect the traffic, and things of that sort, financial. So that happened, and then recently, a couple of days ago, it took a turn again. What's going on here, right? It took a turn again where they ended up promoting the three again initially. Pretty much implying that those three are the one from what initially what they were thinking are the ones that have their stuff together.
Yeah.
So they ended up they're promoting that again, that the three um are back in the running again, and that's including the Midway Plus, the one that SD Low is supporting. Um, However, they still want to see surveys and information and detail on how the whole traffic situation is going to be affected, the financials, just but there's going to be a lot of legalities to it, right? And then we're not even sure if the whole height limit is going to get passed. If it's going to be extended to where like the stadium is going to be permitted to build higher than what it is now, the 30-foot range, if I believe is correct. So it's gonna hit some barriers and some obstacles. And going into that with the listening session yesterday that AC Lowell had at Ricardo, uh, the question was asked about that. What's going on? Are we going to stay at Torero? Right? Are we going to stay at Torero for next year? Because Torero was a 3-year contract, and that 3-year contract is going to be up after the season. So the question was put forth: are we going to be at Torero still? And the way that Ricardo put it was that he has to keep the doors open because he's supporting the Midway Plus project. He admitted it too. There's going to be some difficulties getting that through. There's right now you can't really say it's going well, it's going bad, but there's going to be some difficulties there, and it's not for sure going to be done this year, next year, probably the year after. We're probably looking at maybe 2024, 2025. So, and then he ended up bringing up Snapdragon, and to him, he said, again, he's keeping the doors open, but he is in discussions, or the club is in discussions with Snapdragon and STSU to play there. There's obviously uh, things that are affecting it, pros and cons. Torero pros and cons. For example, the cons at Torero is that it's really expensive, to play there. It's a smaller venue. It's on a hill, right? It's not on a big hill. It's difficult. He brought out the porta potties. That is difficult. That companies don't want to go in and bring the porta potties in because how difficult it is to put them in there. And right behind Section 109. For one, limited vendors there because they Torero wants some of their vendors, like their concessions open, and then it's a lot of things that go along with running a whole a game day thing, right? And obviously the size of it, it's not too big. There's no tailgating. But to your point, Snapdragon, they might not they're gonna be renters there as well, but they might have actually more opportunities there because it's gonna be a bigger venue, right? They're gonna have opportunity for more exhibits. It could be like art exhibits, going to the match. More vendors, different things that they could do. Maybe some little matches, for kids, outside of the stadium, like just outside or whatnot. But however, the thing that is obviously to be taken to note here is that it's a huge stadium. It's like 36K. The lower bowl, it was mentioned that the lower bowl of the stadium's 18,000 seats. So right now, ST Loyal's barely, packing the house. They're not even packing the house. Rather, they're filling up the stands only to about 4,000 um, fans. But what you just said, made me think about it too. Was that having Snapdragon open, the whole buzz of having a new stadium in town. Possibly, I think I mentioned in the past that about tailgating, that they have a small parking lot that's out there. That could be something where season ticket holders or at a price, people can park there. Maybe it's like $40 or something like that, $50. Shoot, they're probably even $60 because
Yeah.
I think the Chargers. I haven't been to a Charger game, but I think their tailgate, I think they charge, to my understanding is, I'm not sure, but they could charge like 60, 70, $80 to park there, and then but it's tailgate,
Yeah.
but and who doesn't love a good tailgate, right? So you're
Yeah.
gonna start building people. The popularity of people. You're gonna see, people tailgating in the parking lot, barbecues, carne asada, and stuff like that. And then you might actually grow the fans going to the stadium just because they want to go assist the tailgate. Which right now, if we're barely filling in Torero like 4,000 people, if you move all those 4,000 people to Snapdragon, and then you also add, expanded, you have beer gardens, right? Expanded vendors and concessions and tailgating, that's probably going to jump, threefold.
Yeah.
So that's something how you just said it business wise, it might be wise, and to me, I see it happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And like exactly like you said, business wise, it makes a lot more sense, and I could see that now. And you're right. I mean, we start off small, and if we do establish that fan base already at Snapdragon, and the MLS does see that, there might be another investor that comes forward to Andrew, be like, hey, like I want in on this. How can we make this happen? If we could already show what the Loyal have built here in San Diego and show that it's already established, it just needs some sort of it needs some investment, then yeah, I could totally see it happening. So I mean, I think now I'm warming up to the idea of being able to move to Snapdragon, and it's gonna suck to see all those empty seats up in the top row, but if we could fill up the bottom, because it's 18,000, that's kind of exactly what they're looking for. It might be actually be a good one. And and I was trying to go back to that point where the newer expansion teams that have been coming on are coming from USL. This is just a list of the few, right? You got Cincinnati came up. You got
Yeah.
Montreal. You have Orlando City. Um, you have the Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, the Vancouver Whitecaps. All those teams came up from USL, and they're all expansion teams. And so I think it's probably the perfect opportunity for us to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm really warming up to it. And something that was noted too, that's been going around too, is that, do you really think that, this billionaire, comes in and says, hey, well, I got the money. I'm talking to SCSU. I got the rights for the MLS franchise. But Landon's already in San Diego, has a Division 2 club. That, the person, if they're smart, they're gonna probably think that it's probably best to have a connection with Landon, right, in the
Yeah.
club in the Estilo, but it's not guaranteed.
And with the
Um,
fans that are already there, though, the
ex-
fans, I think it's probably one of the more important things.
exactly, it's not guaranteed. It could just be some hot shot billionaire says, I don't care. All I care about is the money.
Mhm.
There's a new stadium there. I got the money, and I want more money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in there and land in Estilo, who gives a squat about them. I'm gonna bring an MLS club here. They're Division 2, and that's basically what it is. And then we're gonna start a whole new club, Division 1 and whatnot. I'm gonna bring MLS to San Diego. Um,
I
kind
I
of,
think our leadership, sorry to interrupt, but I think our leadership is, for the club, I think they're pretty easy people to work with, and I don't think it would be just like, "Oh, we don't," from what I've noticed in San Diego, like, a lot of people wanna make this place a better just sporting town, and I could see definitely more of working together as opposed to,
yeah.
just like, "Oh, money, money, money."
Yeah, and a few comments on that too. I've really been digging in deep with this in the past couple of years, but yeah, you're right. If they're smart, they really should, you know, group up with ST Loyal. But it's going to be a new stadium. ST Wave's going to play there. Potentially, ST Loyal is going to play there. After and how you said it, kind of warming up to it. I'm kind of warming up to it too because I noticed about the whole parking lot area. Yeah, it's not big, it's not small, but you could definitely have like a tailgate type vibe there. Have it be, it's probably going to be exclusive to only certain people. But I think it's gonna kind of make it be a hot ticket. It's gonna make um, Snapdragon be a hot ticket when ST Loyal plays. And the whole Midway thing, I know it's gonna be difficult because I've been driving there. I work kind of in the area, and I've been driving there a lot lately. And man, the traffic in Midway area sucks really bad. And that's why I think San Diego City Council is correct when they say, hey, I want to, they want to know whoever whoever wins this project, like how is the whole traffic situation going to work out? Like how is it going to affect the traffic? Because the traffic there already sucks. So just imagine if there's a sports arena, a new sports arena there, and restaurants and other venues there. Well, how is that going to affect the traffic? However, you look at Snapdragon, the trolley goes right there. It's more open. Yeah, it's not gonna be big parking how it was when Qualcomm was there, but you have the trolley there. There's multiple ways to get in and out of Mission Valley. You're coming from the north, you're coming from the east, you're coming from the west. There's multiple ways to get out in and out of there. So I definitely see it happening. It's just a matter of I'm probably just at the end of the year, the San Diego City Council is going to get more information on what's going to go on with the Midway project. But I think Ricardo and the organization, SD Loyal, are just waiting to kind of get that. Like they're pretty much like just waiting to where it's going to be like, you know what, it's just not going to work out, and let's just make the call for next year to play at Snapdragon.
Yeah, it feels like it's like the perfect storm of dates, right? It's like it's the last year of Torero, it's in the verge of Midway, and Snapdragon's coming up and they're talking about MLS. So that's like that's four things working against the loyal, and the next decision. I wish I could be next year already, so we know where the hell's going on, But I think they have a very tough decision because they're working against a clock in four separate fronts. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad I'm not them to be able to make those decisions, but I really hope that they make the best decision that's best for the club and that's best for the fan base that's already been established. I do not want to see the loyal go away. I do not want to see the loyal fall behind to some millionaire club that comes in. I want to see the growth through, because that's I think we're all emotionally invested in this team, and we're all emotionally invested in each other as like fan bases and stuff. So I'm very anxious about what the future holds for the stadium situation.
yeah. Also, it's a perfect segue again. What does ST Loyal and SG? Well, let's get into SG stuff now. But what the future holds for the SGs for ST Loyal, with the growth, the game here, the growth of the club and the popularity of the club here in San Diego. Watch party wise, ST Loyals announced that their away watch party is going to be at Bluefoot.
Yep.
Excellent place. I love that place. Obviously I have kids, so it's kind of difficult for me to be like, hey, sorry kids, I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna go watch me the ST Lowell game, over
Yeah.
at Bluefoot. I can't do that. So, I would rather go watch the game, with my kids. But speaking of that, we're talking about growth here wise,
Hmm.
right? But I did want to mention that there's gonna be a watch party. I think the locals put it together over at Hangar FC out here in East County, out here
Correct.
in El Cajon. So
Yep.
I am interested in going that because it's just really down the street from my house. I'm really curious to see how that's gonna, go. Hangar FC. I'm not sure if everyone knows. It's pretty much like an indoor like futsal, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
Correct.
and it's looks pretty big. Looks really nice. It's like it's like over by that area. There's an airport, like a smaller little, a small airport. It looks like it's one of those, obviously the old airplane hangars that they converted into a futsal pitch. But it looks really nice. Looks really modern,
Yeah.
and they're gonna have projectors up, like two projectors up, I believe it was, and food, and then there's people gonna be playing some footy in there. So I think it's going to be a cool thing to see out here in East County. There's been a couple of ththings out here in East County the past couple of years. They had something over a watch party over at the Press Box over in Rancho, San Diego, or the unincorporated area of El Cajon, and between El Cajon and Spring Valley. And then we've had things at Creative Creature at the
Yep.
brewery last year, and also now with this Hangar FC. So this one looks like probably the best one that it could beat, or I think the best probably event out here in East County because of what it is. It's you're gonna be watching the match inside of a footy court, a footy area out here in East County, and I think a lot of people here in East County are welcoming that, and I'm hoping it to be a good crowd over there.
Yeah. No, I have a niece that plays over in the hangar, and it's definitely a cool spot. I know Bridge Marcotta plays there a lot. It's it's a good place. I mean, it's a good place just to play football, watch football, and I think it's gonna be fun. I think I'm trying to confirm right now exactly what if we're gonna have a watch party for ourselves on Saturday. But I agree with you about Bluefoot, man. Bluefoot is just one of those bars that every San Diego soccer enthusiast knows. It's like it's that it's a Princess Pub. It's just a bunch of different places that you could watch football, and Bluefoot is one of those spots that that kind of come up, and they've been in the game since the beginning. They're kind of known for being Arsenal, in the home for the for the San Diego
Right.
Gunners, and then also for West Ham, I believe. Um, is it West Ham that they
I'm not sure.
or Aston Villa?
There's not really too many West Ham Hammer
Ye-
fans out here.
Yeah, but I mean, they're definitely one of the more better premier bars to be able to go watch a game on Saturday morning. But they're gonna start coming up. They're gonna start popping up now that we have more of a soccer fan base. But I honestly see, it's been kind of a like I said, right, what's been going on, right? Because it's been so long since we've had a home game
Yeah,
that I just kind of feel like, man, is everybody still alive? I mean, I know we have the Discord channels. I know, like, we're all kind of talking still, but um, it's just kind of one of those things like, man, I just kind of miss hanging out with people, right? Now that the
yeah,
soccer's are done, you don't really see a whole lot of people, and but and looking at the schedule, we're gonna have, after this game, we play at New York City the week after. That's the last away game, and then we have 4 home games in a row in the month of
yeah.
June, and it's gonna be back to back to back to back. So, we're gonna get to see everybody again. It's like it's
Summertime,
gonna be
baby.
exactly, man. They're all like really good times of the day too. It's not gonna be too hot. It's gonna be nice and cool weather outside. So we have that ability to be able to build that camaraderie back up, right? Because like you said, we started off the season kind of hot with all those home games, and then we just saw each other like a lot, a lot, a lot, and then it kind of felt like we kind of got burnt out for a little bit.
Yeah,
But now that all these away matches are happening, it's just like, and then that Colorado switchback game kind of happened, and I mean,
yeah,
it didn't really happen, right?
yeah,
It's COVID, but
yeah.
that was literally, so we haven't had home games since April 17th. So that was
Wow.
well over a month ago. That's a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
And it just kind of feels like I'm kind of getting withdrawals, and I'm just kind of antsy to see everybody again. So, but I
yeah,
mean, but to kind of to your point, this Saturday they are going to have the away match at Bluefoot, but there's going to be a lot of us going there early in the morning to watch the Champions League game. So, I mean, just stop on by,
yes,
man. It's like it's gonna be nice to see everybody's face.
yeah. And Estee Lauder put out like a promotional thing, or I believe it was the owner of Bluefoot
Hmm.
commenting on how he's promising that every Estee Loyal match will be played there. Showing rather, right? Playing on the TV.
Home or away?
Yeah, home and away. So that's great. I think Bluefoot is a great place to grow ST
Yep.
loyal, because there's going to be some EPL, right, some English Premier League fans that they're following EPL, but they're not really following what's going on in MLS or USL. So, having, if they're over there just, relaxing, having a pint, and then their SC Loyals playing, and be like, oh, what's going on here? And there's gonna be some SC Loyal fans that are gonna be like, oh, I didn't even know San Diego had a team. Like, what is going on here? So next thing you know, they're gonna be into, being fans of the SC Loyal, and then it's just gonna grow. And the next thing you know, Bluefoot's gonna probably be a hot spot, for just for fans going to watch SC Loyal games
Yeah.
in San Diego.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's getting bigger out here too in South County too. I mean, in South Bay, it's just we've already got we got the attention of like a lot of big breweries out here. Three Punk Ale started showing our we had a couple watch parties
yeah,
there. They've been great and fantastic and trying to get us accommodated. We would have more watch parties there, but they're so busy on Saturday evenings that the only watch parties that make sense are the East Coast watch parties. The East Coast games. But we also have Novo Brazil. They're fans of soccer. Obviously, those guys are all Brazilian, right? And we're trying to add more people on the roster across the across the San Diego County, so they can get an idea, and they can experience what it's like to have soccer in their bars. And the more we could do
yeah,
that, I think the more people would be opening their doors to
yeah,
watch parties for sure.
exactly. Exactly. Hey, so moving along, so I was out of town. I was over in Georgia for some training for work.
Yep.
But I just want to comment a little bit about that. But damn, I miss San Diego because while I was over there, I was putting some things on my Twitter. But oh man, the Mexican food out there is freaking horrid, as hell. And no, they're Mexicans making it,
But
but they don't know what they're doing.
it's
So
not
I
the
don't know.
same.
It's not the same. And I was like, what's going on? I got me a grande burrito somewhere. That's what it was called. And it was like the size of like a little Taco Bell burrito. And I was like, what the hell is this? And then I went somewhere else and got me some tacos, and they didn't even put no toppings on it at all. Like they had like a little like toppings bar, and they didn't even have like guacamole or nothing. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like I didn't pay you for me to make the taco. I paid you for you to make the taco. You know what I mean? And then like but they were
You're just
really,
paying it for
really,
meat and tortilla.
yeah, like, but the places that I went to were busy, man. Like they're like it wasn't only Latinos in there. There was all kinds of people in there from all colors, all backgrounds, drinking, tequila and eating Mexican food, which I thought was really cool, for being in deep Georgia where I was at. But the reason why I'm bringing up Georgia is because the weather. I was talking about like San Diego Loyal earlier about not playing so well in Texas, right? The
Mhm.
weather really did. It's really awkward. It's really weird over
Yeah.
there. Coming from a San Diego and born Californian like myself,
Yep.
like being cush in this weather out here. Going to Georgia, it really did affect me in hard in regards to hydration and whatnot. But the reason why I bring that up is because I know some chavos are planning on going to Birmingham,
Yep.
right? Including yourself. So the reason why I bring that up is because there was a person that I was training with. So I'm gonna put it out there. So I want you guys to know about this. But he's from Birmingham, and remember how we talked about how Birmingham is having that the world games. What did we
Yep.
say it
The
was?
World Games. Yep.
The world games that starts next on July. So
July.
that's in July. Ends before the month is up. But the Birmingham game is in August, correct?
Mhm.
And there's a person that I was training with, and I think we mentioned it briefly, when last time we talked because I was in the hotel room. But there's someone that I work with or that I was training with, has a restaurant out there in Birmingham. So I got the information of the restaurant, and I let him know that hey, I'm part of a supporters group out here in San Diego with San Diego Loyal, and a couple of my buddies are going to go out there to Birmingham, and I want to see if you can show him some love. And he was like, yeah, it's let him know that I got the name of the place. I have the name next time we talk.
Oh yeah.
But I was gonna let you guys know that you're welcome there. There's a place to go, eat, grab some good food and whatnot. I believe it's Italian food. So it's a good place probably to go check out. And he said travels are more than welcome there in Birmingham. So I was all right, cool. I'm gonna tell my peeps. So just I'll put the name out there to give him some promo. But I know a couple of Chavos are going out there. Any news on that or what's been going on with that?
Yeah, actually, I got in touch with their front office over at Birmingham, and they're actually super nice people. They were giving us they were talking to us about like like what they can get us for the game. How many seats they could block off and all that. They're getting us in touch with some of their SGs out there, just to see if we can kind of like be invited to their tailgate or kind of be part of their tailgate party. Um, they've been super nice about it, and right now it's still in the planning phases. But it is the beginning of June's coming up, and then before you know it, June's gone, July's gone, then it's gonna come time for August. So we're still working on transportation methods. Right now, the way we're kind of doing is like everybody just kind of get out there on their own. However you could afford it. If you do want to go, we're not going to force anybody to buy like a 300, $400, $500 plane ticket. Um, but we're gonna try to see if we can find a way to maybe rent one big van or maybe even like a charter or something like that. We're trying to just get a bunch of different options. But at the same time, we kind of need to see how many people are kind of interested in going. So that announcement is probably going to be coming out like in the next like sometime in the next month or so. Just try to get a head count of who is really interested in going to Birmingham. Because if it's only going to be like 10 or 20 of us, then we're probably just better off just kind of doing our own thing and just kind of caravanning out there however we can, right? But if we do get like a like a decent amount of people that are interested, maybe like about maybe 40 or 50. then we'll start looking at the bus options, or like, or maybe just kind of giving everybody an idea of where they want to, how they kind of want to get there. So, planning a trip up to LA is one thing. Planning a trip across, the United States
Yeah,
is another. So it's
exactly.
for our first away trip. I think it's going to be a challenge, but we're definitely keeping as much we're trying to gather as much information as
Yeah,
possible. But I mean, we have a pretty good we have good interest. So but
yeah,
interest is different than
right. Who's
than
actually going to
action, right?
go?
Yeah.
But you know, what? I believe Birmingham. Speaking of Birmingham, in attendance, right? You know, past couple of weeks we talked about attendance as well, and I believe Birmingham is above us on in attendance.
Yep.
Uh,
They have a
but
bigger stadium too.
yeah, can you do you know what the supporters groups are out there? Have you been in contact with any of them at all?
No, actually, I just got that email from the Birmingham front office. Like, I think just last week. Let me actually look it up, see if I can find it.
Yeah, but just because I was just gonna say, hopefully, if you do go out there and a bunch of chavos and and y'all go out there and hopefully you have a better experience than me when I was in Georgia with Mexican food. So hopefully there's some hardcore Latinos in the in in over in Birmingham and then I can because it makes some pretty good Mexican food. But that's actually funny because I kind of double thought right there because not you don't have to be Latino to make Latino cuisine because
Exactly right.
when I was in Georgia, just on a funny note here, I did not know that, but I have a cousin that's in the military, but he's been stationed so many places. But my mom said, "Hey, your cousin's over in Georgia as well." So I ended up getting a hold of him, and he wasn't too far from where I was at. And his wife's Australian, right? His wife's Australian, and she made some
Ooh.
pozole, and they invited me over to the house to eat some pozole, and I went over and had a pozole, and it was probably the best pozole. I'm sorry, probably the best pozole I've ever had in my life. Better than going to like a Mexican restaurant, and she's straight up Australian, and I was like, wow, this is amazing
Yeah, I know,
for an
man.
Australian.
It just takes a little, just a little love and care, right?
Yeah, yeah, and she's Australian, so she was saying how she really cares about about cooking and feeding her kids and just good quality stuff. And I was like, man, this that pozole was delicious, man. Like, and I was like, wow. So again, but uh, changing the subject again on that, but like in Birmingham, hopefully you have a better experience than me when majority of the time that I ate out there any Latino food wasn't good for me. But besides when I went over there to my cousins, but yeah, that's super awesome. I wish I can go. I already did my East Coast or down South trip, so I'm not really interested in going back at the moment. Gotta get busy at work over here. But I'm really looking forward to you guys making some connections with the SGs over in for the Legion and kind of see how that grows. Like a purchase tailgating or meeting each other, taking pictures and exchanging ideas, and maybe you could do an episode out there,
Yeah.
with another one of the chavos and with one of them as well. Or I could be on it too. I'll be over here, and we could all just talk about it like that.
Yeah, no, so I see right now the Magic City Brigade, and I apologize to any other SG out there that's you know that's kind of on their way up. But right now it looks like the Magic City Brigade. That's the only one I could find online. Um, so yeah, it seemed like a really cool group. Seemed really chill. The Birmingham Backline, or not to okay, not some that's something else, but yeah, Magic City Brigade. So no, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. Um, I'm very hopeful I can make the trip. Um, uh, but I think I kind of will. But just again, just depends on what's going on. Like if
Yeah.
I get the time off of work and everything. Um, but like I said, it's no pressure on anybody. It's just it's a thought and an idea that we had, and obviously the more people, the better. And we'll keep you guys informed, as much as possible.
Yeah, it should be a good trip. Just remember to that the reason why y'all making the trip, if you want to expand on that, is because there is a Chavos member that lives out over in near Atlanta, correct?
Yep, that is
Um,
correct. One of the
Mark,
padrinos. Yep,
yeah,
Marcus Trotter.
Mark, one of the padrinos lives out there, not too far from Birmingham. So that's why it was decided to go pay him a visit, and then have some Chavos go over there to Birmingham, and have him have a taste of what's been going on, a little bit, because he's been out there for a couple years now.
Yeah,
So
what he's been missing.
he's been missing out on the growth of Chavos, and then like the and so he can meet some the something that he created also himself, with the with Kev,
Mhm.
that's been growing, the past couple of years, and hopefully he can enjoy um, seeing new Chavos members, and having some of the boys and gals over there visiting him and having fun
Yeah,
watching the match.
and he's still a very active member, even with being all the way out there.
Yeah,
He calls in. He's part of all the he's part of all the groups and stuff like that. And he's just he's a very active member. We got to get a game to him. But I know he's gonna go to the game regardless. But the fact if we can get there with him, that'd be pretty awesome.
yeah. Yeah, but I bet you he's missing San Diego just as much that I was missing San Diego. I was only over in Georgia for 2 weeks, but it was a great place, great place to visit. I went to Savannah, I went to St. Simon's Island, and different, smaller towns over there in Georgia. But it was very nice to go see, some very historic, areas over there in Georgia. But I was just thinking about San Diego the whole time, just like it's like, man, like I just feel blessed living over here, living in, like, the most beautiful city in America, I believe. Waking up and just enjoying the ocean breeze over here. Definitely not in front of my house, but you know what I mean. Like just driving, just driving the 15 minutes and enjoying the ocean breeze, where I don't have to be
We need,
driving
we,
15 hours to go.
yeah, we need a few million for that still.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like I'm still
Yeah,
enjoying that sunny California weather and able to go to the beach without any problems, and stuff like that. But man, but I was like, man, I miss San Diego, and just, and San Diego Loyal has really made me feel that I really don't want to leave this city ever, because I don't want to leave the team. I don't want to leave my friends, my family. You guys, Chavos, and all the friends we've made in the other supporters groups around the here, locals and stuff like that. But yeah, everything's looking beautiful for your trip, hopefully, and I hope everything goes well.
yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, like I said, we're gonna keep everybody posted on everything, all the details. Um, if if you guys get a chance to follow the Chavos Loyal on Instagram, follow us with Chelas on Chavos on Instagram as well. We'll be able to, we'll make sure that we have all the information, out to you guys for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of away days too, before we finish here, but I'm hoping a big group goes to Las Vegas too in
Mhm.
September. I'm also hoping, obviously, Orange County's close by and coming up soon as well.
Yep.
Um, I believe in July. So
Yep.
we have a multiple amount of away days that we can be looking forward to. So hopefully, we get a big group to go to these away matches, and represent pretty much.
Yeah. No, I think we will. Honestly, like you said, I mean, the West Coast games, no problem. I mean, we're gonna have representation there. It's just we need to make sure. Like, I want to be able to establish that East Coast grasp. Like the whole like, hey, we're here too, man. Just we know we're not
Yeah,
just a West Coast team. We're not a fair weather team. This is us.
yeah. We'll fly our butts out to Birmingham,
Yeah.
Birmingham, and then represent. But so finishing off here, what are you thinking about the prediction for the match against Los Dos? I'm going for a win here. I think if we don't get a win here, my hat's gonna explode. Just because like it's like just getting served on us on a platter. That
Yeah.
Los Dos isn't playing too well. We got to come hungry. But I want to say we're gonna have like a 3-1 win.
Um. You know, I don't think we're gonna get the clean sheet. Just the I don't know, man. Like Coque Vegas, he's doing fantastic. But he can't do it all, and unfortunately I don't see us having a clean sheet for a little bit longer. So I'm just gonna say 2-1 loyal. I think we'll get the win. I think we're gonna squeak the win out. I mean, but if hopefully they prove me wrong and they just blow these guys out of the water. But it's
Seven
gonna be
zero.
Yeah, yeah, right? No, I really hope that happens, man, but I honestly feel, the way the defense is playing right now, I don't know if it's just in their head or if it's just something that's going on, and, like I said, I mean, I cannot play at their level at my age, but at the same time, I know soccer, um, and I really do hope that they can get it together because, we're gonna have close games, looking at the schedule, um we're gonna have close games for a long time. So but I do feel, yeah, it's gonna be 2-1 San Diego Loyal, but it's gonna be another nail biter, I feel.
Excellent. All right, with that, everybody, we have concluded our episode for tonight. Let's go out there and support ST Lowell wherever you're gonna go watch the game, either at Bluefoot, Hanger FC, or anywhere
Mhm.
else in the county or in the nation.
Yep.
Go into that local pub or restaurant and ask to put on some ESPN Plus in the match. So represent. But without, peace out. Good luck, ST Lowell. Let's rock the house, and
Yep.
let's until next time. Let's do it.
Yep. Let's look out for each other.
All right. Peace out, everybody. God bless.
Later.